Hey YouTube, P-Money back here, and today we're going to talk about reprints. So Kaiba Collection came out a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and came out with a lot of amazing reprints like Ash Blossom, the Reapers, the Ogres, the Drone Lockbirds, a lot of playable cards pretty much. That set was pretty lit, it sold out everywhere. People were selling them for $45, even though MSRP is $30, so that was an insane set for reprints. So today we're going to talk about reprints, and if you like them, you don't like them, you hate them, they're good for the game, bad for the game. So I'm talking about both sides of the spectrum today. And also we're going to talk about my point of view as a store owner, if we like them or don't like them. But let's go over the pros and cons here. So pros, reprints are good because it gives players more access to the cards. Having more copies of a card, like let's say Ash Blossom, more people have them, so the prices goes down. Supply goes up and demand's still the same, so the equilibrium goes down. Simple economics. So Ash Blossoms were about $100 each, and now the reprint is $50, and then the original copy is around 75-ish. This is assuming the meta didn't change. People still play triple Ash Blossom, so the meta didn't change. So pretty much the price changed because of the supply in the market. The next pro is kind of similar to the first pro, is that the playing field is kind of equaled out. So since everyone has access to the cards, everyone can make the best deck, quote unquote best deck. So now the game isn't pay to win anymore, it's more about skill. So that's another pro about reprints. A lot of players, a lot of the casual players, you would say, they don't want to dish out $150 or $200 just to have 3 cards in their deck just to be competitive. So now those guys can compete with the competitive players now, and it's all about skill. So that's pretty much all the big pros for having reprints. The first one is prices go down, and second one is the casual players can now play with the competitive players, and there's kind of equal playing field for them. Generally, the reprints make the game feel more refreshed, and a lot more players come out now. They feel like, oh, I can play again, or like they have that card that they want to chase for. So now we're talking about the cons. The first big con is that if you ever had the original copies of the cards, those cards tanked, like hella tanked. So like if you were originally playing with Ash Blossoms, they were about 100 each, and then they dropped down to 75. That's $25 you just lost like that. So you had 3 copies, lost $75 like that. That sucks. That leads to my next con, is that it makes players not want to invest in money cards. Like, because at any time a reprint can happen and they all lose their money. That kind of makes the players feel insecure, because at any time Konami can make this new product and then make your money go down. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like driving a brand new car off the lot. You just lost 20% of the value. It's kind of crazy. Reprints are kind of similar to like a ban list, in my opinion, in terms of price falling and stuff. It's kind of crazy how Konami can just bring out a list of cards and then all your cards just tanked or shot up in value. The market's kind of crazy that way, but that's for another video. Another con is that it's more towards the competitive players, is that there's more casuals now that have the card and they don't have the competitive edge anymore. A lot of competitive players, they worked hard to get those cards, like they grinded their tournaments to try to get to 3 Ash Blossoms. I know that's how it was when I first started, when I didn't have a job or anything like that. I would grind locals every week, try to get first place, get those packs and get those money cards for my deck, or trade them for the cards for my deck that are really expensive. So it makes those, like, I guess not really competitive players, because competitive players can always get like all the cards, but kind of in between the casuals and the competitive players, there's like this echelon of players, like kind of semi-competitive, I guess. Like they're not sponsored or they don't go to every event, but they still, like, they're local grinders and they work really hard for the cards. Those guys get hurt the most, because let's say I just worked really hard for my 3 Ash Blossoms, and then a week later it got reprinted. So like it really hurts them, because they don't have ways to unload the cards. Like a lot of the competitive players, they're sponsored and they can just get cards whenever they want. Highly competitive players, but those semi-competitive players, they kind of are hurt the most. Kind of like America, the middle class, they're hurt the most. So those guys that work really hard for those money cards, they kind of want the competitive edge. Like if not everyone has like Ash Blossoms, and they have Ash Blossoms, they kind of have the competitive edge. It's not too crazy like back then with Crush Card Virus, where Crush Card Virus was like a Shonen Jump card, and you can only get it from winning a Shonen Jump. Having Crush Card Virus made you like tiers above of the competitor. Ash Blossom doesn't really do that, so it's not kind of the same. It's not kind of equal in that respect. So in my opinion, it's not too unfair that they kind of have the slight competitive edge just because I run 3 Ash Blossoms, because you don't really need Ash Blossoms to win, but it gives you a slight competitive edge. So those guys that worked really hard for those cards, they get hurt the most in my opinion, and it kind of sucks. So that's pretty much the major cons: price tanking and the competitive scene kind of changing, more cards in the market. So let's talk in terms of pros and cons as a store owner. As a store owner, reprints, it's good because the product that the reprint comes in, it makes the product sell. If there's no reprint in that product, it's kind of really hard to sell. Like I know, like one of the first structure decks came with the Mirror Force in it. That made that structure deck sell, even though the structure deck was ass. That structure deck itself still sold just because it has that one card that it needs. I know the Dino structure deck is probably one of the best structure decks came out. It comes with the Twin Twisters and all the Dino cards. But the Twin Twister right now is like $4 or $5, so that one Twin Twister being in that structure deck, it made it sell. So it's a major pro. The reprint helps the product sell. I'm pretty sure if the Kaiba set did not have any Ashes, Ogres, Grass, any of those cards, the set will not sell. A good example of product not selling is Wave of Light structure deck. That thing is still on my shelf. We still have like four display cases of that thing. It had nothing good. The structure deck itself was bad structure deck. It's not like down structure deck where the cards were at least really good. Like it's playable. Buying 3 of the down structure decks make it playable. The Wave of Light structure deck, it was a non-playable structure deck. There's no good reprints in that set, and it just didn't sell. Sometimes the product can sell by itself, but a reprint always definitely helps the product sell, especially for structure decks and things like collection editions and tins. That's why tins sell really well as well in the summer. The mega tins, they sell really well. It comes with the promo cards, which are really good, which Paw Desires was the last one, and the packs itself were really good. The cards that came in it were really good. Big pro, reprints help the store sell the product. The major con, the biggest con, I'm pretty sure you guys already know, if you have a lot of the card, your stock just drops. Like, you just lost like $1,000 in like an instant. If your store owned 3 playsets of a card, let's say Ash Blossom, and that reprint set just got announced, or just hit, you just lost $200 right there, like that. It's insane. So imagine that times like all the other cards. So all the Ogres you had, all the Ash Blossoms, all the Joel Locks that you had in supply, they all just tanked. Everything just tanked. So when a reprint set comes out, I'm pretty sure a store just lost like at least $2,000-$3,000 in inventory cost, and that's assuming a store doesn't hold that many money cards. Like my store, we don't have that many money cards. Our money cards flip really fast. I think even right now we would probably have like 2 Ash Blossoms in the display case. But like big stores where they have a bunch of inventory, like if you go on CCG Player or eBay or Amazon, those stores that have like 10 plus of all those cards are money cards. Like those guys lost a ton of money. So in the end, does the reprint that makes the product sell well equal out to the money that you just lost because of the reprint? I can't really say. It's really hard to say, because if there was no reprint and the product doesn't sell, that card will be in your shelf and you lost money in that way as well. So it's kind of give and take, I guess you can say. So it kind of depends on your store's strategy and what they kind of do. If your store sells a lot of sealed product, not that many singles, I think those stores want to have reprints. They want to have those sealed product be able to sell really well. If your store does a lot of singles and not a lot of sealed, then you obviously don't like reprints. You probably hate them. This is also in the category of backpack vendors. A lot of backpack vendors don't buy sealed products. One, because they can't, and 2, because they don't have the money for it or the space. A lot of backpack vendors just do singles. If you guys don't know what a backpack vendor is, they're the people that are they have a bunch of trade binders and then they go around the venue and start selling to people at regionals and stuff. They're technically not allowed to do that, but you know, people always still do it. So yeah, those guys are hurt. They hurt a lot. Those guys are usually the ones that have like pages of the money cards. So those guys hate reprints. So for us personally, at first, we really hate reprints because we were just doing online sales at the time, and we were kind of doing singles only, more singles than sealed, and the sealed would only be for cracking purposes. And so majority of it was single sales on Amazon, and we hated reprints. It made all our inventory go down in price, and it made us have to adjust our prices, and that was like a whole pain. Just because of Konami sending out this news of a reprint, it just makes the whole market go crazy. But now opening up a store, brick and mortar, having customers come in, we don't mind it too much of the reprints. Also seeing how Kaiba sold really well, it kind of gave us hope that reprints aren't that bad. I think the money we made from selling Kaibas kind of offset more than the money we lost in singles. And so I think we kind of like reprints now. It also helps more casual players or more players just come out to our store, kind of visit our store, buy a drink or two, have sit down, open crack packs, have a good time. You know, it's kind of crazy because I saw a new player come in our store and then they're like, "Oh, what's that pack that right there?" We're like, "Oh, it's Kaiba collection," and there's a lot of good cards in that set. And he was like, "Okay, I'll just get one pack." And then he opened it. He opened all these good cards, and his face glowed up. It was like it was really adorable. I guess I'd say, and it was kind of heartwarming to me. And you know, if we get more players to come in and like have that feeling of, oh, this is really good product and really good stuff I just opened, more players will get in the game, more players come to our store, more players will start playing the game, and our community just keep growing. And that's something that pretty much all Yu-Gi-Oh players, we want the community to keep growing. We don't want the game to die. Just because we lose a couple dollars here and there, we don't want, in the end, we don't want our game to die, because if our game dies, that inventory that you try to save and you're sad that you lost a little money, you're going to lose all that money. So in the long run, as a store owner, I think reprints are good, and it attracts new players and it makes your community keep growing. But for me personally, this is not because of money or anything like that. I actually don't like reprints, but that's for another video. It's about more of the pricing issue, but that's for another video. I'll talk about that in another video. So pretty much that's it, YouTube. Let me know down below what you guys think about reprints. If you guys like them, don't like them, hate them, love them. Just let me know down below. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you guys like the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next one. Bye.